Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to make the final embellishment for my Christmas journals. I'm making two and I have already made one embellishment for them, and this is what I'm going to show you how to make now. So it opens out like that, and then inside we've got a full journaling space. We've got that side and the two sides. So that's what we're making today, and that will be the final embellishment for my journals because they're getting pretty full now. So let's start. Now, first of all, I'm going to cut this down. I made this one 5 inches deep, so I'll do this one 5 inches as well. Let's cut that down to 5 inches. You can make it any depth you like, depending on the height of your journal, of course. Now, I'm going to, see how wide this is. So how wide is it? It's 10 3/16, so we want 5 and 1 1/2/16. 5 and that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this edge into that line, like so, trying to make sure that I've got it as straight as I possibly can. Fold that down, burnish, and then I'm going to fold this one over to that as well. So I'm going to butt that up like that and burnish that down. So there we've got a gatefold. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to put my fastening on here, because I want to put that on first so that I get my brads under the inside paper. And if you have a look at this one, I didn't put the brads on until the last thing, and then I had to add the washi tape to cover the brad over. So I thought, well, I'm going to add the brad first this time. So I need to punch out some circles. I have punched 6 circles out of the green paper, and I'm going to layer 3 on top of each other. One of them's not full, that one. So I'm just doing 3 layers. I could have just punched it once or twice using a thicker cardstock, but I'm trying to use up my scraps as I go. The brads that I've used on this one and I'm going to use on this one are from my stash as well. I think they're Papercraft, and I think I've had them for about, I don't know how many years, but quite some time. Now I'm going to let them dry for a minute, and I'm going to do a bit of measuring here. So I'm going to take that in, say 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to take it to the middle, which is 2 1/2 inches. So about there I need my hole, and I'll do the same on this one. 5/8 of an inch and 2 1/2. I'm not too worried about the lines, we're not going to see them. Now I'm going to poke a hole there. And a hole at this one. And I'm going to ink around these. You can make these circles any size you like. These are 1 inch, and I would probably be happier with 3/4 of an inch, but I haven't got a 3/4 inch punch, and being a little on the lazy side today, I couldn't be bothered getting my die cutting machine out and using a die to cut the 3/4 inch one, so I'm going with these. Now I've got them both layered together, and I'm going to try and get something like the centre and poke a hole in. Now I'm going to take a brad, put it through the circle, and then put it through the cover. And open the legs of the brad. Then I'll do the same with the second one. So we've got our policy closure on there. Now I'm going to cover this area here with some cardstock. So that is, I'm going to ink this so that I can see where I'm working to, because I don't want to go over the fold. If I go over the fold, it will make the closing of this little embellishment too bulky. Right, and I will actually ink down a bit, ink on the other side of that because it's going to be covered. This is just a precautionary thing because I don't want to take my papers right to the fold. I want to have a bit of a gap. Okay, so now I think that this is the right height because it's the same piece that I used to cut those from. So I'm going to position this about there. And I'm going to mark it there. Okay, so we can cut that one. Oops. On that side. Now this one I'll do the same thing for. Line it up there. Looks like it's a little bit taller on this side. And mark that. If it's a little bit too wide, I can always trim it down. Okay, so that's the 2 edge pieces. So I'm going to ink around those and attach them. So let's line this up nicely. I'm lining it up at the top and the side, making sure that I'm not encroaching on that fold. You can see that I've got a little bit hanging over there, but that's okay. I will let's pay some particular attention to that area there where that brad is. Make sure that we've got it stuck down nicely. Now we can do this side. I have got a fair amount of glue on there, but I think I will just add a little bit of glue to that brad just to be on the safe side. Now we can see here we've got that little piece there, so I'm going to just trim that off with my scissors. Now our piece to go in here. Now what I've used for that is some coffee dyed paper. I'm using a coffee dyed grid paper for this one. I just used a plain coffee dyed paper on the other one. I'm going to just put some some ink across the top there in case I don't line it up perfectly. Right, so now I need to mark this and make sure that I have got it the size that I want. So I hope you can see there that I'm just leaving that little fraction there, and I'm going to do the same over here. So that's my fold. So I'm just going to come in that little tiny bit. And I'm going to just trim that straight down, right down for the full length. I think that might be a bit crooked, but in point of actual fact that's not going to hurt. Now I didn't need to rub those pencil marks out because I knew I was going to be putting this on the top. I will rub that pencil mark out though. Right, so let's check that it fits in there without binding on the fold. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to attach this completely down onto here. Now, an alternative is you could just attach it on the top. So I could have taken this craft cardstock right the way across, and then when I'm attaching this paper I could have just attached it at the top so it flipped up, and then we could have had both sides of this that you could write on and that whole thing, but I thought I'd just do it this way because I think this will probably give us plenty of writing space. I was thinking that this would be good for like lists, Christmas lists, present lists or cooking lists or food lists, or any sort of list would be, this would be a good place to put it. Turn it over and make sure we haven't got any glue there. Now I'm going to fold this up. I'm going to take it just to there and burnish that down. So I'm hoping that I've got enough glue on there that will take it right to the bottom and it will attach nicely. Then I'm going to fold this back. Now you could fold it back however you like. I'm going to fold it down, not just at the top but down a bit. You could take it right up to the top and leave the fold up there if you wanted to. Got glue on my desk. Wet glue, which is not ideal. Okay, so there we go. We've got that. And these would be dry by now. So my next step is to take this to my sewing machine and stitch around the whole outside. Okay, so I will fold that down and stitch across the bottom here, right around there like that. Okay, so I've stitched around all of that and I have also inked around it, so it's all ready to go. Now I'm going to, as I said, on this one I put some washi tape on the edge because, as I said, I didn't do the brad before I put the backing paper on. You could put washi on this if you want to. You could decorate it somehow, you know, you could put a little something down here if you wanted to. I'm going to leave mine for writing space, and now I'm just going to add my tie closure. So I'm going to wrap that around there and tie a knot. And another knot, just to be safe. It's highly unlikely that it will come undone, but let's be sure. Then we can wrap our twine around this one. So, well, depends how tightly you press your brads down, just how much you have to work that up a little bit. Cut that off. Now, with this one, this tail piece, I cut that off so that we've only got the one end hanging out. It's up to you what your preference is, whether you leave it with one or with two. Okay, now adding this to our journal. Here's a journal, one of them, and I was thinking that I might put it towards the back. Perhaps on here. I know it is a writing page and I'm covering one writing page with another, but we'll do this. Now you can do this in a couple of ways. You can attach it down here and 3 sides and put a tag or something in the back, which I think I might do. Or you can just fully attach it and then it opens out, you've got a firm surface to write on. You could also, because it's so pretty on the back, you could also just paper clip it in, which would look nice too. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I think I'll put it in as a pocket. Seems a shame to waste that pretty paper, doesn't it? But that's what we do. So I'm going to put it fairly low down, not right to the bottom, but fairly low down. So even though I'm covering up a journaling page, I am replacing it with more journaling area, so hopefully that will work. Okay, so I can stick that one in, and the other one, I was going to put that towards the back as well. What have we got here? Perhaps I'll do the same thing there. I'll put this one on here. In the same way. So it would go on as a pocket. I think I'm going to cut that off because I don't want someone to try and open it using that. Now also on the end of this I have put some glue so that that twine doesn't unravel, so I've just put a little bit of glue on the end of it. Sort of rubbed it in. And left that to dry. I don't want it to sit on anything. I'll just prop that under there like that for the moment. Till that glue dries a bit. Like so. So I'm hoping that that will work, you know, as far as stopping the baker's twine from unravelling. Now let's have a look if I've got something to put in the pocket. I've got a large tag which can sit in behind there like that. And I've got another one to sit in this one. Okay, so there we go. That's it for today's video, and as I said, this will be the last embellishment I'm putting in my journals because they are getting quite, you know, they're full. By the time the new owner gets them and adds their bits and pieces to it, this is going to be enough. So next video will be finishing off the covers. Rightio. So there we go. That's our video for today. Open up and writing space. Now it looks like that is, I'm going to show you. You can see here that this is folding over when I close my flap. So I'm going to trim that down a little bit, which is probably deadly because I am hopeless with scissors. So I'm just going to put a little bit of an angle on it. This one's got the same problem. Might just you can see I've just taken it to that first fold. Now I hope that will sit down nicely. Okay. Alright, well that's it for me for today. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and you know, perhaps you'd like to give this little project a try. It's easy and fun, and yeah, gives us heaps of journaling space. Alright, thank you for joining me, and I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.